So after you have done your primary market research, you should choose a beachhead market. And there are several factors which you need to consider here. So this is what we're covering today in this section on the beachhead market. So first of all, what is a beachhead market and where does that come from? It's usually a military term where an army deploys a small unit which enters a foreign country via the beach and secures a certain foothold within that country. And that secured foothold serves as a future route for adding troops and for additional resources the military can deploy on that beach in order to further expand into that country. And the same methodology applies when it gets used in the market beachhead segment background. So in this case, your main task is to focus on one small market at the beginning, which you can easily dominate and secure within a very short term. This enables you to compile additional resources, get more funding, and then you can expand into larger markets, which are initially too hard to dominate because maybe the competition is too high or you just don't have the financial or operational resources to do that. So this is what a beachhead market is. So how can you actually select your beachhead market for your startup? There are, in fact, 8 points you really should consider. First of all, you have to ask yourself, is the target customer well funded? And are there a lot of those target customers? This is important because obviously they need to have the purchasing power to purchase your product in the end. This is crucial. Second is the target customer readily accessible to your sales force? So can your sales force reach the customer via sales channels, marketing channels, or are there any obstacles involved? Third, does the target customer have a compelling reason to buy? And this is very important because there might be other competitors out there. So your solution has to bring really a great value add. Usually what we have discovered is that there is a 2x of improvement to the current situation because the customer will not pay the full improvement, obviously. So it maybe pays 20 to 25%, in some cases more, in some cases less. But this is something you really need to consider. Fourth, can you today, with the help of partners, deliver the whole product? And the focus is on the whole product. Customers really don't like to buy several parts of the product in several steps. So they want to have a convenient solution in one step. They don't want to hustle and go to different kind of vendors to purchase additional parts which are required if you don't offer a whole product. So make sure you can provide a whole and comprehensive product here. What is point number 5? So is there any competition which can block you? And of course, in most of markets, there's a strong competition, except you create a new market. But you really have to make sure if there's competition that your product is really better in the eyes of the customer. So the customer has to perceive your product as better than the existing products. Second, make sure that the competition is not so powerful that it can block you or reduce prices so that your product becomes non-valuable to the customers in the long term. This is something you should consider as well here. So if you win this segment, can you leverage this market segment to expand into additional or larger market segments? This is what I already mentioned before. So you want to have this beachhead market as an initial market. This is not at all your final market selection. So you want to use the domination of this market to enter into other market segments in order to increase your revenues. And this is the point you should calculate or consider here. Then, is the market aligned with your personal values and your personal preferences? This is something we mentioned at the beginning of this workshop. If you're not passionate about this market and you're not really, it doesn't align with your value system, it's really hard to stay involved if there are like especially a bad time in that market and you have to spend 6 to 10 years of your life in that industry. So make sure you focus on that as well. And finally, How quickly can you dominate this and win this market segment? This is important because you want to expand to other markets. So you really have to make sure you can win this beachhead market, your initial beachhead market, within a very short time. This is extremely important, and you have to consider this. So you don't want to be stuck in this market for several years. You want to win this market very fast. So after you have selected your beachhead market, there are some things you need to consider. So first of all, you really cannot stop with the segmentation at your beachhead market. You need to further segment this beachhead market. And we will have a workshop later on the customer persona and the end user profile, which explains that in more detail. But in case, and this is something which happens a lot, what we see a lot in startups, if they analyze and analyze, they get stuck. So after a certain time of doing the analysis, it just makes sense to stop the analysis and just go out there, take action, and explore the market. And then the most important thing is if you realize you selected the wrong beachhead market, you have to pivot very fast because you don't want to waste any valuable resources you have, because you're obviously very limited in your resources at the beginning of your startup. There are some other considerations you should consider. So first, in terms of the size of beachhead market, it usually should be a market size of 50 to 150 million US dollars, because those markets are, in our experience and based on our research, very easily and fast to win. This is important. Second, the speed. You need to win this market quickly. This is important, and that's why we suggest to go for smaller markets at the beginning, because the competition is just less intense over there. Third, what is your likelihood for success? Make sure you do some good analysis there, and you have to make sure there's a high likelihood that you can really win this market. You don't want to get stuck, like I mentioned before. Then, how do gross margins look like in that market? Ideally, as an AI startup in climate tech, you target gross margins of 90% and higher. Obviously, if you have 80% and higher, this is totally fine as well. And finally, it's CAGR, compound annual growth rates in that market. So there should be good growth in that market for the next 5 years. So what is unique and what are some special challenges and opportunities for AI startups when they do a beachhead market selection? So first of all, remember, you have high development costs because you need a lot of data. Usually you need to develop your algorithm. Obviously, the costs are not as high as for tough tech or hardware startups, but you have to make sure that you don't swap your resources all the time because, as you know, data are only usually valid for one market. So you have to get new data if you want to target a different market segment. So make sure your availability of data aligns with your beachhead market selection. This is crucial to consider here. Another challenge is the technical limitation. So make sure when you selected your beachhead market that the customers are well equipped in terms of corporate equipment within their company, that they can apply AI and your product in general, but also that they have the skill set, the human resources to really execute those kind of products you're offering. This is crucial for AI startups. If you look at the opportunities, obviously, if you have developed a scalable framework, you might have to change some data in the long term, but those costs will be, in comparison to the profit margins and gross margins you have, very low. So make sure you use that advantage and expand into other markets which are similar and don't require too much change from your neural network or from your other products. This is the main point here. So with that, I'll leave it, and we're going to do an exercise on that topic shortly. I hope that helped you, and we see each other in the next video.